thought getting a bunch of donuts might be a great way to start a presentation about a cop car. This just may be the sexiest police car ever to be decommissioned. This is my 2015 Dodge Charger Pursuit with the 5.7 liter Hemi engine, and this thing is a blast. Woohoo! A few years ago, I made a commitment to myself that I was going to tackle this bucket list of cars that I always wanted to have. Wasn't going to get married to any of them. Wasn't going to be any long-term relationships. It was simply going to be a few months, have some fun, sell it, move on, get to the next car. And that's the theme of my YouTube channel. It's all about sharing the experience. This car, however, has stuck around a lot longer than all the others. I bought this car last October, about 9 months ago, at a state surplus vehicle auction here in Delaware. This was a state police car, but it didn't start as a state police car. It started with the Department of Justice, and the last 6 months of this car's life, it was then transferred to the state police, where it was used as an unmarked undercover car. This car is unique and very special, first because state police here, they don't use Dodge Chargers, so it's an unknown car here. And secondly, it's got this street appearance group, which turns the interior and the exterior into like an everyday car, an everyday Charger that you would see out on the road. This is the equivalent of, say, a Charger RT, but with all the underpinnings and all the special pieces that make it a Pursuit model. Even though this thing is a blast and I'm loving this car, it's the first set of keys also that my wife goes for whenever she's going out. It's time to let it go. It's time to move on to the next car, and it's time to share this with the next person, the next caretaker, to keep this thing going and enjoy it and have as much fun as I'm having too. Let me show you around this car a little bit, some of the unique features that make this car special, as well as some of the things that I've done with the car in the time that I've had it. First and most obvious, it's that blue, that jazz blue. It's incredible, and in the sunlight, the metallic, man, it just comes alive and dances, and it's fantastic, and it's gorgeous, and I love this color. The shine on this car is stunning, and it didn't start off this way. I had to spend 20, 30 hours or so detailing, buffing, cleaning, getting all the oxidation, all the grime off, all the stains. And then it was the tires. The car originally came with 225/60 18s. They were beat, worn out, and busted up. So I found a set of takeoffs in Eagle RSAs and the next size up, 245/55s. And these things have a ton of tread. All four of them are the same like this. Inside, it's the interior also that makes this car special. This isn't your typical police car. Most police cars, you're not getting carpeting and floor mats. You're not getting a center console. This car has it all. This is part of the street appearance group. Also, with police cars in general, you get a column shifter. And because of the center console, in lieu of the factory shifter that would be right here, instead you get a tray. Also, with this factory console inside, you get all the things that you would expect from a factory console. You get USB and data ports. This is for my music. You can also upgrade to Uconnect with this port as well. You get a coin tray. And up above, the dome light, it works. It works with this car. That's not something that typically works with police cars. Usually they're in dark mode. This car is different. And it also has active lighting under each of the four doors too. And I tell you what, Dodge knows how to make cheap horsepower. 5.7 liter Hemi V8, 370 horsepower, 395 foot-pounds of torque, and what you see is exactly stock and correct for a police pursuit. There's no hood insulation. There's no engine cover. There's no cosmetics at all under the hood, and it's all purposeful and deliberate for cost savings and for heat scavenging. And while we're up front here, this front bumper here was a mess when I first bought the car. 100,000 miles of road scarring all over it, from a cracked lip, some kind of bubble or dents, paint chips all over the place. I pulled this bumper off over the spring, sent it out to a repair shop. They made it look brand new, matched the color up, and it makes the car look so much better, and I'm so glad I got that done. And then I also upgraded the infotainment system that Dodge calls Uconnect. Originally, this would be a 5-inch screen on police models. I upgraded to an 8.4, which is the type of screen that you'd find on any other type of Dodge model. It has all the functionality that you would expect. The backup camera is surprisingly good, very clear. I love the size of the screen. It really matters, makes a difference. You have all your climate controls and all your functionality. You have dual zones going on. You have all your radio features. You have your multimedia where you can hook up through Bluetooth and USB and so forth. There are no phone connections to this car, and it's just something the police cars have. They delete that option. There is an app store, however, without the phone connection, you can't download additional apps. But really, the speed and the functionality of this Uconnect is surprising how nice it works and how great the stereo sounds too. And out back in the trunk, there's not a lot back here. It's really not. Everything is hidden underneath the floor here. These are the hubcaps that came with the car originally. Those are the special lug nuts that go with those hubcaps. In lieu of a spare tire, you get an air pump instead. And then your battery's stored back here as well. And again, just like under the hood, no insulation under the trunk lid as well. When I had first picked the car up from the auction, I noticed there was some tapping coming from the front suspension. Took the car over to a shop that I use. They diagnosed it as end links, and so they replaced the end links. More recently though, the tie rods, inner and outer on the driver's side, got replaced. Though, I'm embarrassed to say this, that was my fault. They weren't broken or bad when I got the car. When I went to put the new tires and wheels on and these hubcaps, I had to jack the car up. I slid the jack underneath the car, and instead of getting the jack underneath that lower control arm, instead I got the tie rod. Put a big old U shape in it. Little embarrassing. And you know, it just reminded me that sometimes I shouldn't be working on cars. But that alignment also diagnosed that the right rear tire was out of spec, so we got that dialed in as well. And so the car runs, drives, steers, brakes, handles, starts, does everything exactly like it's supposed to do. So it's a really nice car, really pretty car, does a lot of things really well. It's got some flaws though. Right here, you see these chips in the paint. Further down the side, down here on the back bumper, right here. And that's through the color, if you can hear that. Around back, clean, straight, no problems. However, when we get to the rear passenger side door, we got a ding right here, and there's a second ding right here. Now, I had a paintless dent guy go through this whole car. He pulled out maybe a dozen dings or so that were scattered all around the car. He was not able to service this right rear door, and he said without this window being able to go down, he's not able to get in here and pull out those dings. And then down here over on the rocker, you see the scrapes right there? And then lastly, it's the interior. There's a few issues to talk about. The driver's door panel, you see that? It's just peeling up. And apparently based on what I'm reading in the Charger forums, that seems to be a pretty common issue. Something to do with heat and just soaking in from the sun. Same thing down here in the center console. You see that? And then the bad one over here, passenger side door. Right below that door panel, you could see on the grab handle, a little bit of scuffing and some wear too. The steering wheel has some wear on it right up here. And then on the driver's side B-pillar, the material's pulling apart. And lastly, with the car started, it's traction control. The service history of this car shows the speed sensors have been replaced in the past on this car, even before I got it. The day I brought this car home, warning code, speed sensor, front right, I replaced it. All the warning codes went out. Just recently, a few weeks ago, I got a warning code for the front left speed sensor. I replaced that, and now I'm getting another warning for the front right. I'm going through this round-robin carousel of speed sensors. I did, however, just order Mopar performance parts for this, and hopefully that's going to solve the speed sensor issue once and for all. That is my Charger pursuit. I hope you like what you see, but if there's something I missed or something you need more information on, just drop a note in the comments and I'll get back with you. Otherwise, happy bidding and good luck.